the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Going Old School Retro Discussions, where I'm joined by my good buddy Jens. What's going on, Jens?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, not much. Just got back from doing some retro old school thing. So yeah.
It's always a good time to go old school. It's always a good time to go retro. What's going on? Mr. Grant Gregory dropped into the chat. Shadowhawk Backs, what's going on? Hell, I know the rest of the people will filter in eventually because this is what YouTube does to me week in and week out. They like to get the algorithm against me. They like to suppress me. They hate me. Apparently, my internet company hates me too because they were playing games with my speeds. Chris, what's going on, Chris? Why aren't you in here? You know where the link is. Get your ass in here. But they were playing games with my internet speeds, and I was not able to do anything from last Wednesday up until just this morning when my speeds came back because, well, I did what I normally do, and I sent the guinea pigs after them and went on Twitter, and we started nibbling away at them, and somehow all of a sudden, after they claimed I could only have up to 3 megabytes per second, all of a sudden I'm up to 9 again today, and I have working internet, so go figure. What's up, Wookie? What's going on, Parrot? Walt needs a new candle. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. There's nothing more old school than a candle. And Walton deserves the best that the Guinea Pig Collective can supply to him. Oh, thank you, Shadowhawk. Always good to be able to support these guys. See, if you guys haven't, make sure you check out everybody's books. Oh, you're at work right now, Chris? But make sure to check out Vinny's books. Make sure to check out Chris Fisk, Red Gaze, Nerium. And I don't have everybody else's links for all the other projects. I recently just backed Sim's book. So make sure to get out there and support these independent creators because they are doing the things that are very old school in nature. They're doing the stuff that has good story, good artwork, shit that we want to see, not the trash that we're seeing today. So we're going to get into talking about some of that good old stuff that we love so much. So I'm gonna start off with this one. This is a pretty short one. It's just a little nod to a few of the figures that I actually found when I was going through all the stuff that I have. So let's go with this. And here we go, old school retro again. This time I am showing off some of the superhero figures that I dug out of the crates that I brought back from my father's house. Of course, I have this Old Skool Venom figure. Very cool. I actually had about 3 different versions of him. I still got the one Captain America sitting here. Unfortunately, I don't remember if I have his shield or not. And of course, I got Thor. Somewhere, I believe, his hammer is in there. I don't know why his arm doesn't work anymore. It used to actually be spring-loaded with the button on the back, but it doesn't seem to work. But the arm does still spring into place, which is just kind of odd. I don't know what happened to it. Probably got crushed. All the stuff that was piled on top of it, and it just doesn't work the way they used to. And unfortunately, because of the way these things are made, there really is no way for me to take this one apart and actually fix it. And the last one I have is from the DC line. Of course, we got Swamp Thing, and he had that traditional squeeze the legs, and you get the arm action thing going. And also have Mumra and Mummud. Yeah, these guys are sitting there. I don't know if the rest of his weapons are there, but he does have his headpiece and his arm action still works. Now, there used to actually be a light up feature to the eyes as well. I don't know if the batteries are replaceable. I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I will do that at some point. And the last thing that I want to show off is actually from the Muscle line of figures. Yeah, Muscle. This was actually a championship belt for the figures, and when you pop the cap off, there was actually a little wrestling ring that sat in the middle of the belt. Now, I'm not actually sure where the wrestling ring itself is for it, but just finding that alone is actually pretty cool because you just don't see a lot of stuff like that anymore.
Oh, I remember having like box set of about 20 of them Muscle sort of like figures and that, and like yeah, I like don't remember if if they sold the ringer out, but like, yeah, there was sort of like came and went, didn't they? Sort of like
Yeah, they
really.
did. Like, well, they got really big at first because that was one of the things. Like right around that time in the early, mid to late '80s, all those little figures that were non-posable kind of made a comeback, kind of like the old military figures that they used to have, like the soldiers, cowboys, and Indians. Which I
Yeah,
actually still have a few of them from the '70s. I found some like the different ones that I had, but yeah, they came back into vogue. So they had the muscle figures, and then like I want to say like 3 years later, they started releasing army ants, food fighters,
yeah,
which they had moving arms and legs, but other than that, they were non-posable. That became a big thing again for a while, and then like every other time that they came, they disappeared again into the background.
yeah, yeah. There was in pink and all, just and so like you could paint them, but it was one of them where I was at age where if I'd have painted them, I'd have ruined them, and so I never painted them. But there was sort of like um paintable if you wanted to, but yeah, I I just like look at the figures are because they had like about 20 or 15. It was something like that. I got a like box of them, and there was all like different characters in that. You know, like you had like some crazy wrestling type, and because I was into me wrestling at that age, I just loved them.
Well, the cool thing about the muscle figures, they wound up incorporating different lines in there because they had like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. They actually had WWF ones at the time. I think they might even had WCW. They started incorporating different companies into the muscle figure lines, and then
Ah,
eventually they did do colored ones as well. Real quick before we get too far ahead on this, I want to say hi to some of the more people in the chat and see what everybody's saying. Walton got pink eye from that damn candle, Tommy. Shad took the day off, just needed a break. I hear you. Chris Fisk, sweet Sims in Quebec, and things are going well for our Canadian friends right now. I know, and I wish them all the best because the shit out there is just crazy. Pink eye, he'll be lucky if he doesn't get dysentery.
yeah, yeah. I don't think that.
Wookie says I had Mumra.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jens.
I would say I don't think that candle went well with Stephen's sense of smell. I think he wanted his sort of aroma.
Well, that was the whole point behind it, though. It was to stink about what's going on, Keck. Yeah, the muscle belt is great. Yeah, I hope to find the rest of that because I'm pretty sure I found the ring that goes in the inside of that belt. I got to look for it because I brought so many crates back, and unfortunately, everything wasn't found at the same time, so they wound up getting stuck in the different crates. What's going on? Apex Comics, welcome. The eyes light up with a ring with a battery in it. It has a metal spot on its back to touch the ring and light it up. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'd still have to probably figure out if those batteries, I'm sure whatever batteries it had in there are long since dead by now. I love my old Thundercats action figures. I had the Thunder Kittens and Snarf. They came packaged with their respective Thundercats, but never got the legit versions that came with the surfboards. That's a shame. Lasso of Truth, hello there. And what's going on, Immortal Coil? What's up, buddy?
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, Thundercats had like surfboards. What's that?
Well, yeah. Well, the Thunder Kittens in the the cartoon,
yeah,
they had those little like surfboards that they were flying around. The lovely Sherry, hello there.
Yeah.
And thank you, Sherry, putting you in channel up there. Appreciate that.
Cheers, Sherry.
Hashtag Walton smells bad. Oh, look at that. Apex. I had the big Jim figures. Oh, that's cool. Do you have the original Tiger that they wound up making Battle Cat and Panther out of? Because that's where they got Battle Cat and Panther from. They took the old Jim line, the Tigers that they had, and they just repainted them and they flocked the other one. Yeah. The early version of like swapping things, like what they would do with label swapping, because that's what Mattel did early on, or rather, I'm sorry, Kenner did early on with the Star Wars, because they had nothing to release when the movie released, so they wound up just label swapping shit and putting it out on toy shelves.
Yeah, the Battle Cat story is real funny because there was going for like this crazy, like, as you know, He-Man's universe is pretty crazy and like mystical and that. And so they said, "Oh yeah, paint the cat like they didn't know it was Battle Cat at the time, so but it was like, paint the cat like some crazy the colours you want and that." And so the dude, he thought, right, I'll go for the craziest I can go, and he painted it like green with yellow stripes, and he was thinking, "Oh
Orange.
yeah,
Orange.
Oh yeah,
yeah, green with orange stripes."
Yeah. He like thought, "Oh yeah, this ain't gonna pass." They're gonna be like, "Oh no," but they was like, "Oh yeah, it's great that." Yeah, so you banged it in.
Yeah, like they did a show on the Toys That Made Us, and they were actually talking about the two guys that were talking about that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it looks great," and he said the other guy was arguing, "But it's as big as a horse, it'll never work." He's like, "I don't give a shit, just put a saddle on it."
Yeah. Bang it in there.
What's going on, son of a red shirt? Welcome. And Subhuman 84, what's going on? Welcome. Big Jim. I had a couple of those. I forgot about them. I had the White Tiger from G.I. Joe. And Apex Comics, I had the Marks, Johnny West, Sam Cobra, Geronimo action figures, Mego action figures, G.I. Joes. You know, there was a weird set that Kennard had released because right after the success of Star Wars, they started releasing some other like small 3 3/4 inch figures. And there was this one that was like Old West. It was a Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid figures that they had released. And it had like a quick draw action with the one arm where it had, the gun would actually sit into an open holster, while it's still in their hand. And you hit the button on their back and it would just like spring up like a quick draw action. I had a few of them. I remember I found at least 2 of them. They were in pieces, and I don't remember if all the pieces were there or not. I also found some of my old MASH figures.
Yeah.
I was a weird kid. I really liked that show. There was no other kids around me at the time that liked MASH. I was like all by myself on that one.
Yeah, it was like I didn't mind it as in like what, but I didn't like it that enough how to get the figures and that. Like, because it was sort of like grown up on it. It was more grown up like comedy.
And maybe I was just I was a little bit ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Well, they should be worth a bit though, because like I don't think many people, or especially kids, and that would have bought like MASH figures because there was no actual. I mean, there was doctors, and it's like for a kid having a doctor figure ain't going to be the most exciting, is it?
No, probably not for most kids. But it was one of those shows. I enjoyed it for what it was. I liked the comedy aspect of it, and I liked the seriousness of the show too. I don't know. I was just weird. I like weird stuff like that. Lone Ranger and Tonto action figures. Butch Cavendish. Huh. Oh yeah, Chris. It's funny you should mention that. I just watched the G.I. Joe movie because my brother didn't remember it that well. So I wound up going on the channel and I just watched it recently too. And I was like, he didn't fall into a coma initially. They kind of explained that later on. Like he was just supposed to be dead. They killed Duke in that. Yeah, and they did freaking edit that part where Falcon stabbed him in the eye. They just kind of show him stabbing at him, but that's it. With the glued felt hair and legendary kung fu grip. I do not have any of those old school ones. I do have it when they renamed them the Action Force or Action Team, something of that nature. I have one of the figures. It was a giant lizard guy with a light up chest. It was like a red light.
I think some of a red shirt. Is he talking about the GI?
He's talking the 12-inch GI Joes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we called them Action Men with the eagle eye. Kung Fu grip. So, but
Yeah, it wasn't until years later that the UK actually wound up getting the GI Joe name, I think. Because initially, yeah, I think they were all like Action Force or something to that nature.
well, yeah, because like that's what I was saying. I don't know if he's talking about the Action Men, which was, but if you talk about the Action Force, sort of like 12-inch figures, I'm not, I don't really remember them. But I thought he was talking about the GI Joe, which we call the Action Men, where you be able to dress them up in army clothes and that.
Yeah, well, that's what the old 12-inch were. They would come with like they originally came with like different ones for different services, and then they said, well, we can start selling things to these accessories the same way that they were doing with Barbie. So then they started releasing different outfits, different weapons. The cool thing about those original 12-inch ones is when they were doing them, they said that they actually went to an actual army like reserve. They went to one of their warehouses and they actually brought back some of the guns to Hasbro, to their offices, so they could draw them up and try to get them as accurate as possible. They actually could you imagine some toy company now going to like even an army reserve and say, hey, I need to borrow a bunch of your weapons so we can get them accurate for this toy line? They get laughed right out of the building.
Yeah,
there was just a little bit more trust back then.
Oh yeah. Well, it was where like no one was going crazy and that sort of thing. Yeah, he said there's more trust.
Hey, what's going on, Luffy is God? And yes, they had MASH figures. I still got a few. I've got Klinger. I got him in his regular green outfit, his regular army outfit. I've got Father Mulcahy, and there's one other one because I could only find 3 of them. But I remember I used to have those 2. I had Colonel Potter. I had Hawkeye. I want to say it was BJ Honeycutt is the one I had. And I think I had Charles as well. I never got the Houlihan one, Hot Lips. And I know they had the Jeep, they had the ambulance, they had the helicopter. And I think they had like a pop-up tent too, like one of the surgical tents. It was either a surgical tent or it was the swamp, or maybe both.
Yeah. What about radar?
I didn't have radar either.
Yeah, I was going to say, which kid though would have wanted radar apart from you?
Hey man, what's wrong with radar?
It was alright, like. And that was with a bunch of like doctors.
I don't see the problem here, Jens. I don't see the problem whatsoever.
I'm just saying, right? If I fucking woke up on Christmas and I like ripped open my present, thinking, right, is going to be a new He-Man toy, and it was radar, I'd be pretty sort of like good.
I can't even take you seriously anymore. Okay, Action Force was G.I. Joe in the UK and Australia. Yes, Chris Fisk. Yeah. Kung Fu Grip with Eagle Eye. Awesome. Culture Casino. What's up, Culture? I have a 12-inch original. Nice. Wait a minute. We are talking about a figure, right, Culture? The battle cry was Full Force instead of Yo Joe. Yeah. Yup. Yeah, I thought at some point they actually changed it and they made it G.I. Joe like more recently as they go over to the UK now, because they want to keep that branding all the same everywhere they go. Because when originally Takara and Hasbro joined up initially, they weren't calling them Transformers over in Japan. They were still just calling them, Diaclone. And they decided pretty early on, though, they said, it makes more sense if we brand them all exactly the same. So they carried the Transformers logo, even though instead of calling them Autobot and Decepticons, they called them Destrons and Cybertrons, or Cybertrons.
Yeah, the film was called G.I. Joe. They didn't call that Action Force.
Oh, they did call it G.I. Joe for the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, Shadowhawks. Yeah, I've heard horror stories of other people like that. Lasso of Truth, I'm not sure if I said hello to you, and if I didn't, hello there. How you doing? Klinger. Yeah, I had the Klinger figure. I had him in his regular olive, drab outfit. I didn't get the one. They did have him. They had three versions of him. They had one in a pink dress, one in a blue dress, and then they had the one in his regular military gear. I'd have my 12-inch G.I. Joe and my similarly sized $6 million man Steve Austin action figure with telescoping, ratcheting bionic strength, and not at all creepy, fleshy foreskin covering his arm. Horde of evil Cabbage Patch Kids. Oh no, the Cabbage Patch Kids. They were just ugh. And all the people that went crazy in the toy stores, especially around the holidays, around Christmas, like trying to kill each other to get to those things. My mother actually had one of those Cabbage Patch Kids with the box, with the original certificate and all that stuff. I found it over the house. I was like, wow, I'm actually shocked that it was still there and in one piece.
Yeah, worth a bit then, though, aren't they? Because they got like sort of like sold loads, but then they stopped. And so the people who really want one for original, I think they pay loads. You can't get them no more, can you? I don't think.
No. Klinger was the first action figure in drag. I think he was, actually. Oh, the chicken bus playset. Yeah, I remember that. That was towards the end of the show where they had the chicken in the bus. Brightest day. What's going on? Welcome, buddy. Oh, no, absolutely cool. I know a lot of people talking about they wanted to do reviews of it, and at the time, my buddy Vinny was getting ready to do a review, and I hadn't seen it yet. So he actually respectfully said, well, I'll wait to do a review on Cobra Kai until you've seen it. So later that night, I wound up binge watching the entire thing. So I was like, I want to see what Tehillim 29 has to say about it. How are you doing anyway? Hell, Gomer Kyle 79, what's going on? I had a pink dress Klinger. You did? Yeah, I wanted to get them all, but unfortunately, they were actually kind of hard to find, and they weren't in the toy store for very long, unfortunately. They only lasted, I think they lasted a year at the most. I don't even remember if they did have plans to do a second series of them, but I don't even remember if the second series got underway. I think they canceled. There was a lot of toys like that wound up getting canceled after one season. Silverhawks was one of them. They never made it to series 2. Few other toys. I forget offhand which ones they were, but a lot of them did not make it to a second series. Okay. All right. Noisy chicken. Shut that chicken up. Absolutely. Oh, that was such a good episode. Sub games on me. Yeah, you know what? Tehillim 29, they're doing that to everybody. They're constantly playing with me. I just got to the point where they can't keep me under 500, at least not yet, unless they do another big giant purge on me. And if it isn't YouTube, I'm fighting with my internet provider. So it's always one way or the other. I can't catch a break. They need Cobra Kai action figures. That's a funny thing, Apex. They do have Cobra Kai and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover figures. I had actually talked about that over on Collectible Past with Vinny. So yeah, they did do them, and they do look really sharp. Granted, they're about $30 a pop because they're two big giant figures, but they look fantastic. And what's going on, Shellback? Welcome, buddy.
What's going on?
Just chilling, man. Just chilling.
I'm coming to you from the mobile studio.
The mobile studio.
About to get me some Arby's.
Arby's.
Yeah, I gotta get that them 2 for $6 roast beef and cheddars.
Oh, so that's what you're calling her now?
Yeah.
Roast beef curtains.
along with the breakfast of champions. Yeah.
It's okay, Assoy. I was telling that one to the wife the other day. I was telling her, yeah, freaking those meat curtains. I said some women are so bad they look like a Arby's roast beef, like leaning out a car window at 50 miles an hour. And she's like, "You're
Hey,
disgusting."
hey, don't judge. Don't judge, Tommy.
Yeah,
Meat,
I go in there.
hey, meat curtains need love too. Okay, come on now. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Oh, well, I had actually brought up the clip. I had some old Marvel and DC, with like the one DC figure was Swamp Thing, and the muscle figures, because I had a belt. There was like a championship belt for the old muscle figures, and in the center of it, you would pop this cap off, this clear cap, and it used to have a wrestling ring sitting in there for the little muscle figures. So then we went from there talking about G.I. Joe a little bit, and then I was talking about the MASH figures that they had released.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I never had any of that muscle stuff, but I did happen to get a few GI Joes. Not a lot, because I mean we weren't poor when I was growing up, but we weren't rich either. So
Yeah, I was in that same situation.
but
I was
I
ever
do.
so thankful for every single thing that I got, and I took care of it, because
Yeah.
you did, like, I'm sure you felt probably the same way. You just didn't know when you were going to get something else again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, trust me, that some of my stuff was really well played with. And like including my Star Wars, my X-wing and my Millennium Falcon and whatnot. I mean, like, uh, I still got to get some replacement parts for those things, because it's over the years, whether it was broken, got broken during playing with them, or something got lost or whatever after being in storage or something for a while. But no, I think I've still got at least one or two GI Joe action figures, along with the freaking the thing that looked like a damn Hummer. I can't think of what they called it.
The Vamp.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I actually had the Vamp because it came with the pilot, the driver rather, Clutch.
Yeah.
He just looked like a generic Joe with like a beard and just a regular helmet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what wasn't he like a blondie too? I thought he had like a blonde beard.
I think he did. Yeah, yeah.
I might still have him. I don't know.
Well, they actually had reused that figure a few times with a couple other vehicles, and they just painted a different hair color and called him a different name. The other one that I had, the only other one that I had that was like a vehicle, is I had the big laser cannon, like the artillery piece.
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to be like a laser cannon of some sort, and it came with a pilot that looked like, I don't know, it looked like he had like a red, like a baseball chest protector on or something. Is the way it looked to me. And he came with a helmet with a little visor on it. But they were all from that an early run, the 82 run, because that was before they put the twist up in the bicep. And I think they started putting the twist up in the bicep right around 83, I believe. Because when they first came back in 82, they had the shoulders, they had the elbow, and they had the knees and the hips and the head, and that was it. And then in 83, they added that bicep twist. And later on down the road, I think they added like an ankle twist or something on some of them. They'd added something else to them later on, but
I don't remember.
My grandmother bought me most of my GI Joes at Christmas and birthdays. All right, go ahead, Shellback.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't remember having any with, the bicep or whatever. It's just like you said. They had the shoulder, elbow, wrist, knees, ankles, and like right at the hips, I guess, your normal joints. But I don't remember nothing about no twist.
Yeah, they had added a twist. It was like right at the top of the bicep, and it's actually become pretty standard on most action figures today. Like even all the ones in the Transformers lines that I've been reviewing for Kingdom and the '86 movies, they all have that twist up in the bicep. The only thing that they're doing now different is they got a twist down at the top of the thigh as well, so you could spin the leg out a little bit more. I was just looking at one of those Apex, the smallest G.I. Joe figures, world's smallest. Oh God, which figures did they have? I think they had Duke and they had Roadblock. I always look at those things. I also seen they had a teeny tiny little Battle Cat in a box for world's smallest, and the whole thing with the box couldn't have been no more than maybe 2.5 inches long, if it was even that long.
I still have my Battle Cat too. I had Battle Cat and He-Man, with all their stuff, but somehow, some way, over the years, I think all their stuff has gotten lost. So I gotta, I still have He-Man and Battle Cat, but I gotta, find like replacement, all their stuff, the chest thing, the sword, the Battle Cat's gear, his helmet and saddle and all that.
Do you remember at one point they were actually selling like weapon packs with them?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, at one point a lot of companies were doing that. G.I. Joe had it, Star Wars had it too. They would sell weapons packs. And the Masters of the Universe had weapons packs like that, and some of them were they were almost like replacement parts in a way. Like they had like different colored, like a Zodak chest. I think they even had something similar to He-Man's battle chest gear. They had the axes, the swords, and everything, but a lot of times they were in different colors. They weren't in the original colors. And when they wound up releasing what everybody refers to as the Wonder Bread He-Man, it wasn't really Wonder Bread. It was just Wundar. 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 It was actually not released as part of Wonder Bread, even though everybody thought it was, but it was just released as a giveaway figure. Originally, it was a mistake. They weren't going to do it, but they had already put it out there, so they had to offer a figure up. And they wound up offering this repainted He-Man with like black shorts and the black boots. And they gave him the red. Was it red or was it? No, it was black. They gave him the black repainted Zodak chest.
And no, it's just rain, Subhuman.
Yeah, there's that bicep twist, like you can see on the arm. So
yeah, you can see it right there with the where they got the twist at the top of the bicep. I had that figure too, the one sitting in a chair, Road Pig, the white hair and the red streak in his hair. Actually, I still have him somewhere.
yeah, there's the Action Men though. That like I thought talk about we. So yeah, they was called GI Joes and all, which was pretty confusing.
Well, they wound up, Takara made a deal with Hasbro, and the G.I. Joe line came over to them, and they just called them Action Joes or something to that nature, which didn't sell very well. Then they started dressing them up as superheroes. Then they wound up creating what became known as Henshin Cyborg. And then, of course, from Henshin Cyborg, they went down to Micromen, and then you wound up getting Diaclone, you wound up getting Microchange, and eventually the Transformers. So. I think I had a clutch with a red beard. He came with a snowmobile. Yeah, he probably had a different name too, Luffy. Like I said, I do remember that they would take a lot of those same figures and they would just repurpose them, just paint them up differently and give them a new name. Just like Snake Eyes, which is one of their most popular characters. They were just being lazy and they just needed more toys to show the owner of Hasbro, before the relaunch of G.I. Joe in '82. They just took one of the figures and they just painted it all black and put it up there as a figure, and it wound up becoming one of the most popular figures. And it was basically them being lazy and not knowing what else to do and just painting a figure all black.
Yeah.
What's going on, Gap Stargate? Welcome. Mine was the Adventure Team's smallest figure, brown hair and beard with green fatigues. Nice. I used to have a nice collection of Micro Machines. Yeah, some of the Micro Machines are really cool. They didn't last very long, though. Like, I think Micro Machines hung around like really popular for maybe 3 years at the most, if it was even that long, and then it faded out. Because once they started getting into all those crazy play sets and everything, which, don't get me wrong, some of them were cool, it just wasn't enough to keep people interested in it. And a lot of companies wound up losing money. I know Star Wars lost a lot of money when they went to the Micro Machine play sets.
All right, I got something really important here. Okay.
All right.
When you're a restaurant whose like main thing is roast beef sandwiches,
Don't
how
tell me they don't have any roast beef.
Yeah, how do you run out of that shit?
Here's what you tell her, Shellback. Tell her, bullshit. Open up your yoga pants. I bet you there's roast beef there.
Dude, I don't want them to spit in my food, okay? Come on.
Well, you know what? Sometimes when they spit on it, it makes it a little bit easier to slide. Didn't you see that girl?
Anyway,
Didn't you see that girl on the gas pump on Twitter spitting on the friggin'?
I saw that woman though trying to defrost a windscreen by pouring petrol all over it from the pump. Someone had to like rush up and stop her. She was gonna like pour loads on it.
So anyway, looks like I'm gonna have a fish sandwich instead.
Boo, hiss. Showback, you so fine, they're gonna give you a fish sandwich. Tail 29, I remember Snake Eyes in the black suit first, then later in the next gen of it, changed it to a purple suit, then back to black. Yeah. They did a few times. They like tried to alter their colors, and they were trying to do the same thing that a lot of the other toy lines were doing at the time. Because like DC had the original line of Batman figures, and then they just started throwing all these multiple color Batmans out there just so they can expand the line and make, they gotta get them in every color. It was so dumb to me. They had like a Batman in gold, a Batman in red, a Batman in black, blue, like you name it. They had every color under the rainbow. Surprised they didn't have a rainbow Batman. If that line was released today, they would, though.
Yeah, it was a cartoon, weren't they? They did some Batman cartoon where he was like changing his bat suits and that, and so they were like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. We could just release."
Rainbow Batman would be super.
It's a shame because those Star Wars Micro Machines were awesome. Yeah, I have a couple of them. I have the Jabba play set, and I have, oh God, what was the other one? I have a Millennium Falcon, which is actually kind of huge for a Micro Machine. That thing is gigantic. I want to say that thing is almost 2 feet long, but it takes the little Micro Machine figures in it, so it was supposed to be 2 size, which was something they usually didn't do with the Micro Machines. But yeah. I think it's awesome. It's got all kinds of figures in it. I could kill myself. I wish I kept all my G.I. Joes. I did the same thing with my original Star Wars figures. Like an idiot. Like when I was like 14 or 15, I got in that attitude like, oh, I don't need all these toys anymore. I don't need all of them anymore. It's time to get rid of some. So I took them out to a flea market and sold them for pennies on the dollar. And now I'm like kicking myself for it.
Well, that's okay with the economy. You'd still sell them for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I know, really. Well, you know what? Even then, still some of them are a lot more than what I sold them for. Like I sold probably 30 or 40 Star Wars figures, plus like a few other things. You remember the little die-cast miniatures, like the Millennium Falcon, the Star Destroyer, the Land Speeder, and all those that they had? They were like the little mini die-cast versions of the ships.
Yeah.
They were bigger than a Matchbox, but I forget what the sizing was on them. But I had a bunch of them, and I sold all those with it. I had a die-cast Enterprise where the bottom would open up and you'd have a little plastic shuttle in there, and then the top had a spin wheel where the bridge was supposed to be, and it would actually shoot these little plastic discs out that were like frisbees. I sold that with all of them, and I think I sold it for under $30 at the time. Like this guy, he seen, you know, he was a permanent vendor, and he took advantage of me selling it because I didn't know how much they were worth because I was young, and I just felt like I needed to get rid of them, you know, for whatever dumb reason. It was such a big mistake. The only thing I never sold is I never sold my Transformers. That was the only thing I would never sell. I would never even consider it. But yeah, all my old Star Wars figures and, you know, the old Star Wars ships and some of the Star Trek ones, I sold like an idiot. And I've regretted it ever since.
Mm-hmm.
We need Snow Job in our life. I wish I never lost my Godzilla action figures. You know, I still have my Shogun action figure of Godzilla. Granted, it's broken because of my father, but I still have it.
What was that? What was that? Some Switch something for me? I don't know.
Switch Fun for Shellback.
Oh, okay. What, like a Nintendo Switch or whatever?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Why not? Why not?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, granted, I'd probably, you know, kick Jeremy Griggs' ass in Mario Kart, no problem. But yeah.
Yeah, Shadowhawk's back. I'm a little behind on the chat. That's why I didn't see this tonight. Yep, yeah, it's the Shogun Warrior line. I still have the original box for it and everything. The only thing my father did is, I don't know how he did it, but you know, the right hand would shoot because he had a little button in the crook of his arm. He broke it right around the wrist where the shooting mechanism was, where the hand would pop out. Somehow he broke that section. I don't know how my dad did it, but he broke it somehow.
Well, some of those like mechanics are like pretty like small in that shit, and so yeah, the slightest knock can like just put it out slightly where it just totally fucks it up.
Well, those old Shogun figures were freaking hardcore though. That was like when plastic was like legitimately tough.
Yeah, but it's still plastic though, isn't it? Because like I remember having loads of like guns, like toy guns and that, you know, where they'd have some, but through like messing around and that, they'd always like fuck up like the trigger or something in it where you're like because like plastic, it wears, doesn't it? It's one of those where if it's constantly being used or if it gets a hard knock or something, it can just totally like displace it, and then it's like,
Well, the one thing about some of those, it's not even so much the plastics you got to watch out. Is you got to watch out for the old products that they used to have back in the day, the rubber that they used to make back in the early 70s and you know, mid to late 70s all the way up into the very early 80s. There was something about whatever that they used in the creation of the rubber toys. If you put them next to anything plastic, there would be a chemical reaction and it literally melts the plastic. Because my dad threw like a couple old rubber mummy figures or, you know, monster type figures that were all rubber. He threw them in with my Tyco racetrack set, and it melted a whole bunch of the Tyco racetracks. Like I literally had to pull these rubber figures out of the Tyco racetrack because they were melted into them Figures came out fine. The rubber figures were absolutely fine. The track was a total melted mess.
Yeah, although them tracks can get melted, can't they, if they're in hot sunlight? I've seen a few tracks that get like a bit of a melting sort of.
No, well, these were out of the sunlight. I mean, yeah, it did get a little warm up in that attic, but this is just a chemical reaction from the rubber. Because I've seen other chemical reactions with some of the older plastic from the 80s. Like, don't ever do this, but unless you have a toy you don't care about and it's already damaged and you just want to see it yourself. If you take an older, like, I don't care if it's Transformers, G.I. Joe, whatever, you take one from the early to mid 80s, and you put an incense cone right up against it, the incense cone will literally melt into that plastic.
Yeah,
It's something about certain chemical reactions. Look at you. Oh, no. What? You went to Arby's and you didn't get curly fries?
They're overrated.
Somebody boo this man.
I'd rather have these or like the quote unquote steak fries or whatever.
Oh yeah, steak fries are good. You know what I used to like? I used to like the ones, and I hate going there because I think their food is overpriced. But Chick-fil-A, their waffle fries. Love the waffle fries. And Chris Fisk was talking about the Star Wars mini diecast figures and the play sets. Yeah, but they lost their shirts on that set. It did not sell very well at all. I don't know if it was the timing, because when they released them is when they were actually in a bit of a lull with products, and there was no movies coming out at the time. And I think that's one of the reasons why their micro sets failed so miserably. Police detain question. Metal cap guns. Yeah, I found a few of those too. The old ones that used to have the paper reels, or what you're talking about, the ones that had the plastic, like that came like a cylinder form. Either one were pretty cool. Yeah. You know what? I hear you, Castaway. Freaking DC is ridiculous. They've gone the same route, and I was warning everybody that they probably would. What's going on, Keely Chow? Welcome. Showbacks likes long, greasy things. Whoa. Is there any validity to this, Shellback? Not saying anything. He's not going there.
Frank Zappa says, make it greasy so it goes down easy.
Don't you kink shame me, parrot head.
No curly fries. See? Yeah, we know they're not steak fries. Steak fries are actually pretty decent. What was it? KFC used to have really good steak fries too. And then, of course, you have those, what are they, shoestring and everything like McDonald's uses. Sentinel.
Yeah, the steak fries are like the long, or, they're like, they're yay thick, but they're yay wide, and, yeah.
Yeah, they're the good ones.
But
what we call chips, like fishing chips. You'll have like steak fries, so steak fries and chips, but we call them fishing chips.
And what we call chips, you guys call crisps.
Yeah.
There's one place. It's not too far away from where I live. The guy's parents were originally from over in London, and they came over originally, and they moved to Jersey, of all freaking places. God bless their hearts that they eventually moved out, and their kids are now down here in Florida. But they have a place that's called OK UK Fish and Chips. Most amazing fish and chips I've ever had. That shit is banging. It's supposedly made. He said the recipe came from his parents when they used to live over in London. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, you can get some nice, good fish and chip sort of shops, and as long as you know the recipe and that, it's pretty easy. Like it's not all that hard, but it's knowing it, and then like once you know how to do it, it's like really easy.
What's up, LDG? Long day, just passing by some sport. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. So, Jens, you were bringing a topic to today.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like three sort of like my favorite sort of programs and that. One of them obviously is He-Man. The other one's Knight Rider, and the third one's the A-Team. And so talk about the A-Team and that because like
And
yeah,
you know, Jens, I still love it when a plan comes together.
yeah. Yeah, class there. Yeah. So like I got all like 5 seasons and that. Even watched the remake of
I recall watching the remake. I just don't remember it. That would like it didn't leave me with a really good impression. The remake. I mean, I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was bad, but it didn't like strike me as like, oh well, that was an amazing remake. I didn't get that feeling.
Yeah. Well, it was sort of like trying to get lightning in a bottle twice, so it is hard to do. But yeah, I thought it was all right. Like the kept sort of like the characters pretty close to the original and that. Although I did think George Peppard was more cheerful than Liam Neeson's Hannibal Smith, but
Yeah, I like the original one. Yeah, Chris Fisk. It was so weird seeing Starbuck in A-Team and eventually Murdoch being on Star Trek. Next Generation, Lieutenant Barclay. Yep.
Yeah.
DC Comics, I'll watch your movie shows if they're good. Play your video games are good. When it comes to the comic books you've been putting out recently, yep, I hear you on that one.
You remember that the episode or whatever where Barkley got possessed or whatever? Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh God, yeah. What was the other one? He was like scared to do something. Was that was a different episode though, wasn't it? He was there was something that he was scared to do. I don't remember if it was the transporter or what it was. There was something he was intimidated with doing. I can't recall what it was now.
Dwight Schultz.
Dwight Schultz is good. I like him.
Yeah, and obviously like the Mr. T as B.A. Baracus.
I am not flying with that. I am not flying with that crazy boy.
I was like, I ain't getting in no
plane. I ain't getting in no plane. And then they poke him. Then they knock his ass out with like a freaking syringe or something, you know. Like,
yeah, you've got to add the fool at the end because he always used to call Murdoch a fool and that. But yeah, there was Melinda Kluwer who played Amy Ammon. I think it was Amundsen. No, Amy Amanda. She was like the woman reporter, but she was only in it for the first season because apparently she wanted more sort of roles to play in the A-Team, and so they got rid of her. It's like, no.
Yeah, Pearhead, I do believe you were right. Transporter accident. Yeah. It was a transporter. Oh, Darius. What's going on, Darius? They would drug him. Yeah. I think they used tranquilizers on him, didn't they?
Yeah. But
Now say your school, drink your praise, and stay in milk. Oh, do you remember when they came out with all the toys for the A-Team too? I mean, the first thing I remember them coming out with, and I don't remember if it was Hot Wheels or Matchbox, but they came out with the little van for the A-Team.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after, they started coming out with the figures. My brother actually had the A-Team B.A. Baracus. The figure was something like 12 inches tall.
Yeah. They missed it. I would say it was Mr. T figure because he did look like BA, but it was called the Mr. T sort of figure.
Yeah, but it had like the same outfit and everything.
But this, do that. I mean, that's one of the things, that I like about, being like growing up in the 80s and shit is like just all the, little boy type toys, that, I mean, like you said, all like the G.I. Joe stuff and, like all the figures, all their vehicles, and then they would have like, the damn A-Team van. They had Kit, Knight Rider Kit toys and freaking the General Lee, I mean, like if you didn't have like a little Hot Wheels or a Matchbox of any of those, you weren't any type of cool, okay, in your neighborhood.
You're right, and yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Subhuman. It was Matchbox. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was. And what's going on, Deej? What's up, Deej? Yeah, pitch that show today. Three white men drugging up a black man in each show.
And smacking him on the head,
Deej, I can see that. I wanted a mohawk as a kid. Hey Raquel, how you doing?
Maybe they were the reason they were so successful in knocking his ass out all the time is because they were in MAGA country.
No, it's because let's be honest, there wasn't a lot up there. It was a empty paintball can. It was like the little ball in the empty paintball can just rattling around. Mr. T was the 1980s. Yeah, he was in everything too at one point. He was everywhere.
And they used to make him drink milk, which is so racist. They just
Well, that's what this comment was earlier. I don't know if you caught that one. Chris Fisk says, "Say your school, drink your prayers, and stay in milk."
Yeah,
I pity the fool.
Yeah, I had these though, like the four sort of like figures, but I didn't. Because like they had the van, but because like these was like about I'd say about 6 inches to 8 inches either way.
I think they were 5 to 6 inches, somewhere in between there. Yeah, because that van was pretty huge. They were the same size as they actually released a Knight Rider. Since you'd mentioned Knight Rider, they did a Knight Rider car and a figure, and I'd say the figure was somewhere around that 5 to 6 inch mark. I think it was closer to 5 inches. My brother he had that one. It was sitting up in the attic. So I have the Michael Knight and I actually have the kit car.
Yeah.
The only thing that happened, I think, is the doors popped off of it. But other than that, it's 100% there. And what's going on? Canadian Spider-Man, welcome. And real quick, Chris Fisk says, yeah, Blizzard made a special Night Elf model for Mr. T. He promoted World of Warcraft as a Night Elf Mohawk. I remember those commercials.
Yeah.
Because right before that, they were doing Shatner as a Tauren shaman.
Yeah.
Is that why? Is that like why D&D characters are like racist now? Because they made Mr. T a night elf.
Who knows? These people, they're just looking for anything and everything to call racist anymore.
Yeah.
You
talk about Mr. T though.
That's the figure he had right there. The one in the center.
Yeah,
the
Mr. T
figure.
Yeah, it was like as you can tell by like B.A. Baracus, it was pretty much Mr. T was B.A. Baracus, and so the Mr. T doll did look like the B.A. Baracus doll because it was like pretty much the same.
Mm.
And they did these and all, but like I never got.
Oh yeah, the little 3 3/4 inch figures. Yeah, I remember them too. Yeah. By Glue, yeah.
Like, yeah, I didn't, and like, I don't know, but I don't know if these are new ones, but I don't think so. No, but I never had. Oh, the bad guys. Oh, right, I was say. Yeah, I didn't ever see them, but yeah, they were the bad guys that you could get.
No, I don't think they did Sentinel. That van was actually made by a different company because Play School actually did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I believe all those figures were done by Galoob, if I remember correctly. They did the semi playset for Knight Rider so you could pull and fix kit. Yeah.
Mhm.
I had a Knight Rider remote control car that was of Knight Rider.
Well, that was one of the things
Like,
they started doing that early on too with Star Wars, because they created the Sandcrawler for the Jawas that was remote controlled.
hey, up, talk about GI Joe's, huh? Didn't know this. The GI Joe 18 figures.
Are they legitimate, or because I've actually seen ones where they look like they're legitimate but they're not?
Yeah, I think so. Huh? The look at it. Let's have a visit.
Because I know as far as like when they were doing figures, Hasbro was doing all these different figures, and they were doing them off the GI Joe basic line, and they wound up creating Street Fighter. They wound up making Mortal Kombat figures. Oh God, what else did they do? They did a bunch of other ones, and I know somewhere out there was actually a Snake Plissken figure floating around, but I can't recall if it was actually made by Hasbro or if that was like fan made.
Yeah. Oh, it's supposed to be to sign up before it's fucking letting me fucking continue, I think. Fuck. But I did say there was toys, though. Yeah. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, back to yeah, I'm back on the screen. Shit. Yeah.
I don't remember remote control Sandcrawler, but that would be cool.
Oh no, yeah. Here's a funny thing. When I was going through all the stuff that I, dug out of the house, one of the things I just recently came across is I came across an old Kenner catalog, and the front probably like 10 pages or better of this like maybe 15-page catalog. The first 10 pages was all Star Wars stuff. And in there, it's actually got the remote-controlled Sandcrawler and a remote-controlled R2-D2. They were the two remote controls that they had. Because prior to that, the only Sandcrawler you've seen in the toy line is they actually had what would they called it the Droid Escape set or something like that, where it's supposed to have the crashed escape pod, and then it's got the Sandcrawler behind it, and the bottom of the plastic playset all looks like sand. I actually have that one still, along with the Cantina set and Droid Factory.
I just thought of something. If I had just like stupid money, right, I'd get one of those snow cats. Like the ones that they use for like mountain rescues and stuff. And I would take it to either take it to a body place or like possibly do it myself. But anyway, make one of those snow cats look like a sand crawler.
Yeah.
And then just drive it around town,
What's going on, Brutal Morningwood? Gosh, now you're taking me back. I remember having a 12-inch tall Mr. T figure back in like 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
He had 12 inches of Mr. T. What?
Hey, man, don't judge him.
Yeah. They came out late 70s, early 80s, because I remember when I got mine and that, like I was like under the age of 5, I think, or 5. So as I say, it was like late it was like 79, 80, I think, when they came out.
Yeah, I think that those are probably those G.I. Joe ones right there. I think they're probably somebody else that did them themselves. They don't look official because you could just look at the artwork, and the artwork is not something Hasbro would have released.
Dude,
So,
those overalls with the shirt, like with the sleeveless shirt and whatnot, that was like the iconic freaking Mr. T look.
Yeah, I think though, the artwork though, I think it was a cartoon, like the maybe
I think they did do a short run cartoon for the A-Team.
Yeah, so I think the artwork is like.
Well, Mr. T had his own cartoon as well.
Yeah, look at this.
Like, see that Rocky Balboa? They're saying Masters of the Universe. That was never Masters of the Universe. It was actually it was just made by a cheap company. As a matter of fact, on the last page when you were looking to, it showed that Snake Plissken that I was talking about. So after you look at this, yeah. So they did release a Rocky figure like this, but it was from some like Galoob or something like that. It was some cheaper toy company that released a Rocky figure like that. But it sure as hell wasn't He-Man. But it was based off the same modeling that they used for He-Man.
Yeah. I think that's like one of them Photoshop jobs.
Yeah,
or something.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's somebody just Now, whether or not they wind up doing that later on as like a joke thing, I could definitely see Mattel doing that as a joke. Because they actually just released some figures as part of their Origins line, where it was figures that never really happened, like the original version of Beastman. They released the original version of what was supposed to be the Sorceress, who they called the Guardian of Grayskull, and she was green in the comic because somebody had screwed up when they were coloring, and they made her all green, and it wasn't supposed to happen. So they actually released that as a figure, and then they did, they did some other ones, and they're talking about doing more of them, where they're going to release, like, they did when they did the Beastman, they put LOP on the front for the original toy line, which was supposed to be the Lords of Power. So they've been doing a lot of stuff like that, paying a lot of attention to the things that came before, and there was talks that they may even release a Wondar figure for the new Origins line. So it's pretty funny what they're doing now. They're not taking it too serious, you know what I mean? Where it's just got to be the figures that were released and that's it. They are taking a little bit of humor and having a little bit of fun. So the people who are collecting this stuff are having fun too, because we like seeing some of that stuff. We like to have a good laugh because some of that shit was hysterical when those people would actually try to copy these companies and make their own figures.
Yeah, hey, I might be having to get this one. Look at this T-Man.
What?
T-Man.
Yeah, Mr. T-Man.
Oh, T-Man. T-Man.
Yeah.
I pity the fool. T-Man.
For a second, I thought you might be talking about like T as in trans or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought you were saying a cup of tea. Oh, you went straight to the LGBT.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But that packaging is definitely not bright enough though for that kind of T-Man.
Well, yeah, but I tell you something though, Mr. T did wear some like crazy feathered earrings where maybe there's a
no, those were manly feathers. Don't you dare go there. Those were
okay. Now those
were manly feathers.
Do either one of you guys know what those feathers were? They were. I will give you a hint. They were a specific type of bird that he talked about. Those were the only earrings that he would wear like that.
Well, it's definitely not a pigeon because they're too small. They're too big for a pigeon. Parrot.
Well, they were a little bit too colorful, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm going for parrot because, like, yeah, makes sense. Big bird with like big feathers coloured.
Nope, close. No, actually, you're not even close. They were actually ostrich feathers.
Right.
And he said they were the only type of feather earrings he would wear, and they had to be ostrich feathers.
Right. I thought he'd just wear any.
But weren't some of them like different colors or whatnot? I mean, like non-ostrich colors.
Well, that's the thing.
They
had those things dyed. Yeah. See, Jens already knew where it was going. He would get them dyed. Fake super chat from Ancient One. Colossal size bag of premium lettuce and premium carrots for Tommy, the guinea pig, his wife, and the guinea pig pups, so that they can week in complete happiness. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you dropping the links out there and saying hi to everybody in the chat. I pitied fool, don't eat my cereal. Yeah, and there's the one I was talking about, Jens. Yeah, the G.I. Joe Kurt Russell Escape from New York. Like, I'm pretty. That's another fake one. Yeah. That's another fake one that's like fan created. But
dude, I love a Snake Plissken figure though.
Yeah, it was good though. Like I'd say that was like looking real though. Even though the head looks a bit too big, doesn't it? For the figure.
Oh yeah. A little bit shorter than I thought. Thought you'd be bigger.
Roadhouse.
But it looks legit to me though. I'd be like, yeah, I'll order one of them. Then you're like, oh yeah, no, it's thinking.
Oh yes, Chris, I do remember that. When Gary Coleman dressed up as Mr. T on Different Strokes, I do recall that. That was absolutely hilarious.
Was that the episode where Mr. T got hired as a bodyguard for?
I think so, yeah, because he obviously he was on the episode because they were standing side by side. It was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think he was wearing like one of those little bald caps with the mohawk on top, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Well, like, I'll have to get this up. Gary.
Gonna look that one up.
Yeah, what's his name? Coleman, isn't it? Yeah, that's it.
What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, dude, the freaking that show and freaking Silver Spoons, Facts of Life. Yes, I watched Facts of Life.
It's Facts of Life. The Facts of Life.
I mean, you know, it was a show full of girls. Why wouldn't I watch it? But
Jesus, it's only the biggest goddamn hole in the world.
Oh, I heard you say girls. Sorry, my bad. Is that what you felt like when you went to Arby's?
Yeah. No, not really.
I'm getting hungry, and I'll be here lurking while having dinner.
No,
okay.
No,
sure
actually,
you're not going to Arby's because they're only serving meat curtains right now, apparently, according to Shelby.
No, actually, what what has occurred to me with
there
this?
It is.
What you talking about, Mr. T?
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Actually, Tommy, what has occurred to me with this particular Arby's experience is when on what was it? Was it Lethal Weapon 2? I think it was Lethal Weapon 2. And freaking old Leo Getz was like, they fuck you at the drive-thru. They fuck you at the drive-thru.
Was that 2 or what? Yeah.
I think it was 2.
I forget. I haven't watched those in a while. I really need to go watch them again.
Okay.
No, Deej, I hear you. No show compares to The Greatest American Hero. But I said it because I have the super suit. Nah, you know what? I love that show. I love that intro to that show. Leave it.
Only if he would have had the instruction manual.
No, who needs the instruction manual? You want to crash and everything. That's the way you get it done.
I tell you something though, I wouldn't mind seeing this film, Mr. E.T.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what? Speaking of old shows, just ever so briefly, yeah, Saget died.
But don't you know? Oh yeah.
I was never a huge fan of that show. And he
Full
did that other
House?
one. What was the other one he did with like aliens or something? Or it was some kind of like I don't know if it was aliens or if it was like one of those oh god, what the hell was that show?
I don't
It was some
know.
kind of mystery, like a mystery show of some sort, like of the universe or something like that. I didn't know if it was like aliens or mysteries or something. But he did a show like that too. He did like the voiceover for it.
I don't know. All I know is his comedy routines were like a 180 from Danny Tanner.
I don't know. You know we'll never find that out, Chris. No, this actually was more like one of those documentary type shows Parrot had. I can't remember what it was called.
Alien Nation, though, that was a good movie and a good show.
That show, I don't think the series lasted very long though, did it?
It seemed like it was on at least a few seasons.
I really
18
don't.
that was on for 5 seasons, and because like in the 5th season, I think he comes into it. Show you his name, sort of thing. Yeah, there are loads of fucking people that starred in 18, but yeah, Robert Vaughn. That is it. Robert Vaughn stars as like Hunt Stockwell. Yeah, he like starts controlling the 18, and yeah, Eddie Velez as Frankie Panman Santana.
I'm trying to remember the episodes or whatever Hulk Hogan was on there.
Oh, it was the one where him and BA, is Jim or someone's getting hassled, or someone's getting hassled, and BA and Hulk Hogan, they're like mates and that, and so they go around kicking ass and that, but Hulk Hogan winds BA up about like being afraid to fly, and so BA winds Hulk Hogan up that he's afraid of water because he can't swim or something. And so they're both like winding each other up.
What?
Yeah.
What a black dude giving a white dude a hard time about not liking water and swimming? That was progressive.
I know, right? That's an awful big flip flop. Hey, RR, what's going on? RR, real quick. RR says he did take his booster in early December, just like Betty White took her booster a month before she died. Connection.
I didn't know Betty White was boosted.
Because getting back to the Hulk Hogan episode, there's a bit where, like, in the A-Team, you know, like the mobster gang or whatever, or who's ever pissing off the locals, come around to like cause a bit of trouble. Hulk Hogan gets some of his wrestling mates, and there was like Ricky the Steamboat Dragon a British bulldog, and like about 2 or 3 more sort of like wrestlers that was there to like do some like fighting.
All right, Chris wants to know. Boy George was on an episode of the 18.
Oh, fuck
Yeah, apparently.
Best one ever, right? It was.
You had all his albums, didn't you, Jens?
Oh, well, I've got a box set in that. As I say, I've watched them like twice, sort of thing in that. Because like,
I don't remember that
so
one.
is that part of your like a workout? Like, is that you got like a workout like song list with Boy George? You know, you spin me right round, baby, right.
That's not.
No,
That's not a Boy George or a Culture Club song.
no, yeah, that was thingy because he went like proper got breasts and like lip like enlargements to like make him look more luscious. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, no, Culture Club did come on, chameleon. Because they sing it in the episode, because right, the episode's called Cowboy George. Because right, Face is like at this country and western sort of bar and that, and this dude like wants this performer called Cowboy George to like come and play, and so Face like arranges it, but they think he said Boy George instead of Cowboy George. So when it's up with Boy George, like the dude who owns the like pub bar sort of thing, he's real pissed off because he's like, no one was, and like it was like in the 80s, so it was when Boy George was a big sort of star and name and that, and it was like no one wants to see Boy George and that, they want to see Cowboy George. And so like George Peppard as Annabelle Smith, like it's very corny because Cowboy George looks exactly like fucking George Peppard, but with a like mustache, I think, and a wig and a cowboy hat. But he goes and pretends to be Cowboy George, and like.
Look at that! Ancient One has the episode that Hulk Hogan was in.
Yeah,
Body Slam. And the reason I know that Dead or Alive did the original song, the reason I mention it because my wife likes Boy George, and there was a live version or something. Apparently, he did on some show, some TV show, like one of the music TV shows. Like you know how like they used to have Soul Train and a lot of those other shows. Well, they had one of those shows for like rock songs or pop songs or something like that. And Boy George was on the show and he was actually singing "You Spin Me Right Round, Baby, Right." And that's why I say that.
I don't know. I'll have to like look that one up. But the dude from Dead or Alive, I don't think he went full up. I just think he went top half.
Did you inspect it yourself though, Jens?
Well, no. Because like, because like, I don't see him like
what?
Well, I don't see him, do I? So I'm gonna go.
Well, anymore or just in general?
And every time he phones me up, he doesn't want to talk about it, and so fucking I don't know.
Anybody ever try to take your manhood?
What you say about my mama?
I can look it up. I can look it up to see if he has gone full up for people, for them Dead or Alive fans out there who want to know.
What's going on, Mark Lazarth? It's good to see you, buddy. He just came in at the right time talking about Boy George and whether the guy from Dead or Alive has only went top half or not. So what exactly does that mean? Just top half? Are you talking
Pete
like from the
Burns,
waist
that's what it's
up?
called.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you some pictures of Pete.
Oh God, do I really want to see any pictures that you might be bringing up of him?
Well, I'll check them first. Ooh, some bad ones.
Private chat. Private chat.
Yeah, right. Ecto Smurf, what's going on? Do you really want to hurt me? Yes, we do.
Do
Apparently,
you really want to make me cry?
that we just learned tonight that's on Yen's song list when he's working out.
There we go. This is sort of like best one I can. Well, like, but anyway,
Wasn't that the only song that one guy on The Wedding Singer, you know, the Boy George lookalike in his band?
Yes.
That
yes.
was like the one song.
Yeah, and he was doing it as Boy George too. Yeah.
there we go. He must be still got, or he wouldn't be calling himself Pete. He'd call himself Patricia or something, wouldn't he?
Oh Jesus! What in the hell is that?
Yeah, Pete. It's Pete. It's Pete Burns. You wouldn't know. It's like if you like was a big fan, you was like, oh yeah, I remember Pete. You spin me right round, baby. Right. You're like, well, that ain't Pete. That's fucking some chick with a lot of plastic surgery.
Are you high?
He's a bit fucked off because, like, Pete.
What the hell?
Out like this, yeah. When he came out like this, he was on a show and they started like taking the piss out of him a bit because it was one of them comedy shows where, you know, they will take the piss out of you, and so you usually got to like just take it, and yeah, and smack. Well, anyway, he sort of like was playing along, but then he went a bit crazy and he went, "Oh yeah, well, in my mind, I like it," and that, and then so like they were just saying, "Oh, in your mind, Pete," and that.
Dude, I mean, the one you got highlighted off to the right. I mean that one pic shot looks like, I don't know, something from Tales from the Crypt or some shit.
I was going to say RoboCop, like the one that was getting melted by all that toxic sludge at the end of RoboCop. You really want to hurt me? Oh,
yeah, well, he went a bit crazy. Though. Look at this when he's looking like Wonder Woman. That's when he should have left it, shouldn't he? He could have got. Oh, yeah, you can tell he's definitely fucking been watching Wonder Woman there.
I agree. Freaking weird. He died back in 2016. I wonder why.
They need to bring back the circus, man.
But look at this.
Shit like this.
It's probably maybe because you can't see his cheek, but he fucking went crazy with his cheekbones for some reason. Like, that's not plastic surgery. You know, that's not swelling. That is like what he wanted. No, you're thinking,
I can't take any more of that.
Yeah, true.
I feel a little bit ill now.
Yeah, I'm sensitized to that because
because you see it all the time. I know it's a good friend of yours. I understand.
Well,
quick, throw up some super manly clip so we can.
That's the British
palate cleanser.
Yeah, you Americans, you prefer your old fashioned rock and roll, but we prefer fucking like British pop music. We watching British pop music, especially nowadays, you're gonna see a lot of that.
You killed a parrot. Nice going, Jens.
Oh yeah, well, That is, I know, because apparently he's seen some crazy shit, but that was like too much for him.
There's a certain line you can't cross.
Well, sorry to do. I just thought like everyone knew that like the dude from Dead or Alive.
Yeah, no, that memo didn't get across the pond. No.
Oh right, yeah. But remember,
I don't know what that was, but that wasn't that wasn't a dude. It wasn't a woman either. That was like an alien from outer space, and you cannot convince me of anything else.
Yeah. I was saying, do you remember Aerosmith? I think they wrote a song about him.
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord. So we were talking about. I was going to say we got to take it back to something real. Okay.
We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
All except that weird-looking man, woman, sludge monster.
Yeah.
Well, you're the one that started it because you're the one who said Boy George sung fucking Pete.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You said Boy George was the best one ever. You said that, not me.
Well, it was, but the one with John Saxon ain't too bad because John Saxon plays like this cult leader that like gets like this cult going, and like the A-Team have to rescue this like
yeah. Hold on. You got a question in the chat.
Oh yeah, yeah, we go.
What are your top 5 British pop bands, Jens? Please don't say Oasis.
Oh yeah. Well, best one ever is Menswear, and they did a song called somewhat Day.
What?
Daydreamer, I think, something like that. And they'd be like, Daydreamer. I was like, and I forget because it was so much of a good song and so much of a beloved song that I forget exactly how it went. Apart from that was just it. It was one of them songs where I didn't even need to hear the rest of the song, just that one verse of Daydreamer or something like that.
Oh no!
Yeah, and then there was these were great. Oh shit, they're that great. I've just forgot the name.
Well, while you're thinking about that, Wookie wants to know how much red meat does it take to counter Culture Club? Apparently, not enough.
A lot.
I did catch that one earlier, Ancient, and I did read it.
Well, I tell you something, right? Boy George might like the cock, but he's an hard cunt because he's an 80s gay. He had to like fight in nightclubs, so like, even though Boy George is a bit old now, but I tell you something, if you start giving Boy George a lot of fucking shit, he'll go toe to toe because like he went to prison and all. That's how hard Boy George is.
And then I suppose that's why Jens Parrot says that you still have a Boy George anatomically correct life-size doll. Is this true?
Well, I've got the rest of the band and all, so I don't know what's strange about that is.
Nana Reaper, what's up, Nana Reaper?
Yeah, you're just not Culture Club, are you?
Who?
Oh,
Shellback is right. Bring back the sideshows. Oh, no.
Yeah, menswear. Fucking.
So let me just ask this question. So John Saxon was apparently he didn't wind up changing over too, did he?
No.
At least not yet, right?
No. Obviously, he gets like took to prison in the end, so we don't know exactly what happens in prison to him. But
Why is some of your favorite stories always involve prison, Jens?
no, I'm saying fucking like
Hey,
you go to prison, you learn how to fight, or you just learn how to be a bitch.
so Jens has a prison. He's got a prison kink. Okay, don't be kink shaming. That's not.
No, I'm just being a realist. Boy George went to prison, right? But luckily enough, he did have some friends there who did like me, like his 80s culture club sort of fucking songs and that. Oh, like said, hey boy, George, if anyone like gives you shit, we'll fucking help you out. So he did have to do much fighting, but he went there and he won't like probably be no one's bitch because as I say, he's from the 80s, so he's learned how to fight.
Unfortunately, most of his fighting takes place on his knees. What's going on, Tim Possible? Welcome.
Well, most fights usually go to the ground. So
Oh, whoa! I don't know what kind of fights that you're getting into, Jens, but no.
just see the UFC. There's like a few UFC fights that like the standing up most of the time, but there's always that like bit where one of them will like be like, "Oh fuck this! I'm getting beat, stood up because so I'll just take him to the ground, see how good I do on the ground."
But the thing is, the difference between like MMA fighting and prison, ground and pound takes on a whole new meaning in prison.
Well, depending on your fighting fucking abilities, maybe.
Chris wants to know, Jens, or he's actually saying, I bet Jens has a Legion of Coom action figure set, including DOA Burns, Boy George, Gary Sugar, Gary Glitter, and Zombie George Michael.
No, I've not been the Gary Glitter one. Fucking hell. That gets you like time in prison. I don't want to be going to prison.
I'm never gonna dance again.
Oh, Jesus. Soul Assassin. Boy George will sing, "Do You Really Want Me to Hurt?" Really make me cry in the showers. Oh, no.
Yeah.
It might have found true love there, you know what I mean? It would be sort of like a single sort of fucking recruit for gay people, isn't it? Like a prison. But
oh, no.
Do you want to bend down and get the soul?
Well, all I'm saying though is Boy George has the ability to throw a punch and that. So if you start like making fun of Boy George, like don't expect him to just like curl up in the ball and start like shaking.
Well, no, he doesn't curl up in the ball, doesn't he? Sit on top.
No, because in the 18, he like helps like Mad Murdoch and that shit, like and because they have to get into like this building. Well, I think it's a shed. I can't remember exactly what building it is. All right, but the door's locked, and Boy George with a hairpin, like a bobby pin sort of thing, like picks the lock.
So once again, he's sticking something into somebody else's hole.
Well, he had to do it to get the door open, didn't he?
Well, that's how he survived in prison.
Well, all I'm saying is, Boy George, he knows a trick or two, and he's been a part of the A team. And so, if you're gonna take the piss out of him, like I'm not a part of it because I don't know. Because like sometimes Boy George, I think he did live in America, but I think he's in Britain. But then again, he could be in the south of France. I don't know, but I don't.
I don't know. Jens, do you know this one?
Back doors in.
Whoa! You just stay away from the back door stuff, Jens. We don't like where you're heading.
Luckily enough, I ain't got no back doors, but I don't want to give too much information on my.
But did you have them sealed up after all those misadventures with Boy George?
No, I just made sure that where I was living just didn't have any back doors, because that's what I said to like the sort of like landlord, and I said, "Oh, does it have any back doors?" And they went, "No." So I went, "I'll take it."
Well, you know, I mean, it's a really close friend that comes in through the back door.
Yeah, well, luckily enough, I ain't got one, so.
Soul Assassin wants to know who was that 80s singer that had his stomach pumped because he blew multiple guys he'd survive in jail.
Oh yeah, I think it was one of the fucking. Oh well, I'm thinking of two. There's like Jimmy Somerville who was with the Communards, and but I'm sure one of the Take That did it and all. I think it was a Jason Orange. I think it was him. I know one of the Take That members. If it was definitely like one of the Take That members, but I think.
Oh, they were taking members, all right.
Yeah.
Did he change his name from Orange to White after that?
I know, no, because that's having to rebrand yourself, isn't it? That takes a bit too much. So no, I just like
Jason Cream Pie.
I think I think. Well, he just reformed with Take That, and so like.
Did you say reformed or refoamed? Either way, it doesn't sound good.
Well, Take That right at the end of their career, because right, I don't know if you Americans remember Take That.
No.
Well, good for you.
Especially not Take That at the end. No.
Well, good for you. Good for you. Because I was starting. But anyway.
Although I'm not judging. So,
well,
I mean, if you like Take That at the end, then.
Well, yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah, they had some classic fucking songs that they like did. Relight My Fire, yeah. which is a classic song. That and
so how far off? So how far off of the 18 path are we?
Yeah, well, I'll get back onto it because with that Take That, they did a fucking like concert and that shit, and they started off like a boy band, and so it's the little girls and that shit. But once you know them little girls grow up and that, they're like, oh no, fuck Take That, right? And then they was too old to get like little girls to come and like watch them. So they went, right, okay, instead of like performing to little girls, we'll perform to gays. And so then they started dressing up like in red gay costumes, you know, like proper
red
like,
gays. What's red gays got to do with it?
No, like gays, as in homosexuals. They're dressed up in like homosexual chaps and all this shit. Even though
very interesting. I see your hobbies are drinking, smoking weed, and all types of ill shit.
Yeah. But when you got your ass out and that shit, you know, it does look pretty gay. And especially when like there's about, I don't know, 20,000 other gay dudes in the audience, then like, yeah, it does look pretty gay.
Were you counting them?
Well, no, because like you get, It might have even been more. I'm just estimating there was getting like fucking 20, 30,000 sort of concerts and that. So
And Bruce Lombardo, what's going on, Bruce? And Bruce is worried about this because he's a ticket at the end. And Soul's Ass said Rod Stewart is his name.
Nah, Rod Stewart didn't. Rod Stewart's with women. He's always got them supermodels. He fucking.
Come on, man. His first name is Rod. Come on.
Yeah. Rod Stewart's about 5'5", right? And he's always getting off with like supermodels. Probably because he's Rod Stewart, like.
That's what they call window dressing.
And and he procreated with one too, so
yeah, go on, Shellback. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, and guess what? So did Bruce Jenner. We all know how that turned out.
Yeah, Rod Stewart.
Well, here's the thing with Bruce. Here's the thing with Bruce. Okay, and anybody who gets with a Kardashian chick, okay, you either get in and get out, with the Kardashian chick, or eventually you turn into one. Okay.
Yeah.
And Bruce was around too long and became one. So
that's what happens when you hang around. It's like the saying, whatever you hang around with and that, it's going to influence you. And so if you're hanging around with women all the time, you're going to be like a woman. Just saying. That's why I try to like hang around with people who, if they are women, they don't act like women. Or if they do act like women, they're like sexually attracted to me. And then I'll hang around with them. But if they're not, then it's like, fuck that. Turn into a woman, watching soaps and all. I've noticed, right? People who watch soaps, they start to become like women, like all about fifis and fucking knitting.
I don't know.
Yeah, not a good track record at all. Yikes.
Well, that's what happens.
No. Oh no! Say you like to surround yourself with dudes. What the hell? It's raining men. Oh no! Jens, what's going on here?
It's raining men. It's raining men. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
you knew a little bit more than that song. You probably should have. Sheldon.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's sounding good. It was sounding good. Fucking like Bee Gees, fucking good there. But
stand alive.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is, like, hanging around with men is all right. It's just that when you're wanting to have sex and you're still hanging around with men, that's when it becomes a bit gay.
A bit gay? Just a bit. So what are the determining factors to decide if it's only just a bit?
Well, it's
I mean, like as long as you don't swallow or something. Like where do you draw the line?
Well, if only the tips touch.
Well, I'd say once there's contact with another man's penis, for more than 2 or 3 seconds, then that's when it becomes homosexual.
See, this is what Boy George does to a conversation.
Oh no! This absolutely went somewhere I wasn't expecting. I have another fake super chat from Ancient One. I got to get to this before it disappears in the chat. So a video of Tommy the guinea pig knocking on someone's door as the person opens it, only to see a cute, fuzzy guinea pig as he knocks down the person and nibbles his toes. I won't even need to do the nibbling. I usually leave that to the other guinea pigs in the house. They handle all that stuff for me. And Bruce is very worried because it sounds about 7 inches of gay to him.
Well, it's one of them where Americans don't. They're extremists. Either
Well,
you,
seven
either you're John Wayne and you're super straight, or you're fucking like
now, Bruce, 7 inches is average gay.
who's the most homosexual American around nowadays? It used to be Liberace, but like the young folks won't know that. So, who would you say was like mega gay?
Oh, you guys in the chat are on fire tonight. You're absolutely killing me.
So this dude I knew when I was living in that transitional housing place for homeless vets, right? He was he's an ex-con, and he's like if you quit 2 weeks before you get out, it wasn't gay.
Is that sailor talk?
It's like he's like, if you quit 2 weeks before you get out of jail, it wasn't gay. You were only it was only a hustle.
Well, that apparently works for the Navy too, because Parrot Head says you would know, wouldn't you sailor?
Yeah,
oh, no.
yeah. Gay Navy, like gay Navy jokes are stale, okay, at best.
Kind of like the Jackson Pollock paintings that are on the walls of the submarines.
Yeah.
I take it they had him back when you first got into service too, right?
What?
The gay jokes.
Oh, yeah. Well, they've been around for a while. Yeah.
No. So what do you got? What else you got on the A team that doesn't involve somebody turning into a woman?
Well, it isn't gay at all, right? Rick James was fucking in the 18.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Yeah.
Get over here and give Charlie Murphy a lap dance.
Yeah. And he wasn't in it much because it was the episode where
he was in the back doing cocaine.
Arthur Case is in prison and that, and he fucking gets like false charges put against him and that, and then Rick James, because he plays like Rick James, and so he's like, oh, I gotta get my friend out and that, I'll give you some money and all this shit, like, oh, just help him in that. And so the A team go in, and Mr. T and Hannibal, like George Peppard, they go in, and and I think his face, but no facing in. But Mad Murdoch, yeah, they all three like commit a driving offence and that in the same car, and so they go to prison and then like help him out, and so they have to do some like fighting because Mr. T, like someone tries to like fucking make BA their bitch, so BA just like knocks the shit out of them.
Ain't no man going that route on me again.
Yeah. Because that thingy. Oh
God! Do you remember freaking Eddie Murphy's Mr. T routine about that? Yeah. Boy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, we don't want to go back down that path again. Sorry.
No, I forget his name, but in fact, I look at, but he's the police sheriff in Live and Let Die. Oh, fucking Jason's James Bond in the speedboat. But he plays the jail warden, right? And because Mr. T knocks his fucking dude out and that, because you know, obviously B.A. Baracus, he's really fucking good at knocking people out and that. He like gets him to do underground fighting. Oh no. Oh no, and that's another one.
Apparently, Shellback was backing up.
Yes. No, sorry. I just started my car. Yeah, no, my ass.
I pity the fool. I pity the fool trying to poke my chili ring.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Clinton James, but no. But he's in one where
Popcorn's done.
He does play a warden in it, but I can't see the dog because there's more people who starred in it. But yeah, he's.
I seen Isaac Hayes was in there. I also seen Tia Carrere. Tia Carrere was also in DC Cab because they made a big deal out of her towards the. Well, actually, throughout most of the movie, the one guy just kept talking about her. Paul Gleason, he was the teacher in Breakfast Club.
Oh, you mean the principal?
Wasn't he just I thought he was just a teacher
in the Breakfast Club. No, I think that was the principal, the school principal.
Was he supposed to be the principal?
I think so.
Yeah, no, that one where Rick James and Isaac Hayes, you know, BA just helps protect. I think just. But I could be getting them mixed up though. But yeah, but there is one where BA as Mr. T as BA has to do like underground fighting.
Yeah, it's been so long since I watched any of those. When I was out picking up all these different like older shows and older movies, one of the ones I did pick up, and I still haven't had a chance to pop it into the VCR or the DVD player rather, and watch it, was the V series. I picked up the entire V series collection.
Oh, this is where the original face and all one Dick Benedict. Oh, yeah, it's Dick Benedict, isn't it?
Dirk Benedict.
Yeah. He won the original face in the pilot episode. It was
vice principal. Parrot said he was the vice principal.
Happy.
The Betamax machine. Yeah, I never had a Betamax machine. There was a lot of lessons to be learned in a lot of these older shows, and it really is a shame because all the messaging now is just garbage. It's about how you're evil, how everything you believe is wrong, how everything that you like should be wiped out. I mean, that's basically what they're preaching now. I mean, the hell, DC just made Superman gay. Because I don't care if he took it like a champ, apparently. Then he went back afterwards looking for more. They could try to say that he went there for revenge. He was looking for more. He missed it.
Yeah, fighting climate change by protesting.
Of course. Why
yeah.
not?
That's what Superman does. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, yeah, and Dirk Benedict was also the original Starbuck. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, a
Although,
lot of them did.
and that right there. Speaking of Starbuck and all that, I think that's that was one revamp or whatever you want to say that they actually did a good job on was the the redo of Battlestar Galactica.
I've
Because
tried to watch it a few times. I can't get into it.
yeah, but I mean
Well,
the first time,
you know what it's like though. I mean, you grow up watching the little shows, you get used to how the
yeah,
characters are and how they're being portrayed, all their mannerisms, and
yeah.
as far as like translation, I'm not saying it's a bad show, but when I picture everybody that's on the Battlestar Galactica, I'm just not seeing it in the new characters. It's just the way it is, It'd be saying if they took Mark Singer and tried to do a revamp of Luke, and they had Mark Singer playing Luke Skywalker. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work for me.
Yeah. This dude, though,
But
he's called Tim. Let's see. Share it here.
yes,
I'm not familiar with
Riptide,
that one.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one offhand, but yeah, that
yeah.
one, Shellback?
It had Joe Penny and fuck, I can't remember the other guy's name, but they had like a charter boat type of business, but they did like like private investigation type crap. But they and Joe Penny, I think it was Joe Penny's character, had this freaking helicopter. It's like a pink helicopter with this like face painted on the front of it, and they called it the Screaming Mimi. I know if you saw it, I know that you'd be like, oh yeah.
It sounds slightly familiar when you're saying that with the private investigation and everything. Simon and Simon. I knew about Simon and Simon. I really didn't watch it.
Yeah.
He says I remember the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Now what you got here, Jens?
Yeah.
Tim Dunnigan.
Yep. He was the person who played Face in the pilot episode because Dirk Benedict was busy, as in filming summer, and so they couldn't get Dirk in. But he played Face, and then so when the green lit the 18, that's when they got Dirk Benedict in as Face. So he was only in it for like, it would have been like 2 episodes because it was one of them pilot hour sort of and a half long pilot episode, I think it was. So it was like a film.
Well, they did that with a lot of early like TV shows, like the original Buck Rogers from the 80s, the TV series. When that came out, they actually had a pilot for that was almost like a short movie as well. I want to say that thing was almost like an hour and a half to maybe even an hour 40 minutes.
Yeah,
it was a lot longer than the standard 30-minute show.
Dude, that Buck Rogers, that was one of them shows that helped me through puberty.
Yeah, a lot of spandex.
I mean, between Aaron Gray and that other chick that played the princess.
Mm-hmm.
Woo!
Princess Adala, or
yeah, sounds about right.
I think it was Adala. Uh-oh.
And they both of them ladies still look good, even in their like 60s and 70s, whatever they are.
Yeah. There he is, sort of like dressing up as like Colonel and all that shit, you know, like because Face was sort of like the bit of a con man, wasn't he? Even though Hannibal Smith was sort of like all three sort of like personas, but Face was sort of like the con man, sort of Mad
And that
Murdoch
is,
was the crazy
uh,
one, and BA was like the tough one. So, like,
and that is so not a military haircut, even for the 80s.
yeah. But he's hard general though, so he can get away with that having his hair a little bit long. Because like,
Yeah,
he
no.
yeah,
No, not
yeah.
over the ears like that. Not that long. No, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, mate.
Chick that played
Maybe
Princess Ardala
maybe
was
he just
a
conned
Dane.
his way because this is the thing with the A-Team on it. They just probably just make it up and be like, well, yeah, I was due for a military trim, but the faculty was out or whatever, and so they just bullshit. You see, that was the thing with the A-Team. They could get away with shit because there was like experts in mind manipulation, and well, Hannibal and Face was anyway. They and like Murdoch could do it a bit, but BA was shit at it because he.
Well, Murdoch wasn't he like a bombs expert or something? If I remember correctly.
No, he was the pilot.
It was a pilot.
I thought he was a bomb expert too.
Well, there was also like bomb experts because there was all like military, and so they knew about explosives.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say they were spec ops, so they all knew some shit. You know, it's just.
Yeah. But
no, Murdoch's quote unquote deal was, you know, he was a freaking pilot, helicopter pilot.
Yeah, and like BA, he was sort of like the mechanic in that, and Face was just a sort of like military sort of like all rounder and that sort of thing. And
Intel, he was the he was like the spook, you know, he was like the spook guy,
he'd go undercover and that, and like fucking charm the women to give him stuff and that. But and then Hannibal Smith was like the tactician and that shit. But they all like knew the like military stuff because it was all like soldiers. But they all three of them, apart from BA, was good at sort of like doing the hustle, but BA was shit at doing the hustle because he'd rather just fucking like get the stuff than try and like hustle, because there was one or two episodes where they try and fucking get BA to do it, but there's a bit where he's got to hustle a like vehicle, but he just sort of like tries it, but knows it's shit. So then he's just like, I'm taking your vehicle, fool, and all this shit. Then, you know, instead of like hustling it, he just like takes it in that.
No, so I looked up the cartoon. The cartoon ran a few more seasons than I thought it did. It ran for 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I thought it was only like a couple seasons at most. Yeah, it ran for 4 seasons.
Hey, yeah. Fucking.
From 83 to 87.
Yeah.
And I think it was shortly after that is when they did the Mr. T series.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, where they had him with the kid and the little dog with the freaking the mohawk.
Yeah.
Hey, super fan Adam Shawhan, what's going on, buddy? What's up? Yeah, it was the black guy. That's horrible. Yeah, and Pamela Hensley was Ardala.
Yeah.
Pitied fool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the Mr. T.
Yeah. Saturday morning cartoon, Mr. T. Mr. T and his team.
Yeah.
And they really didn't alter his look much in most of those shows.
No. I guess every role he played, he was sort of like Mr. T, but they changed it like with BA and Clubber Lang, but he was practically Mr. T.
Yeah, Soul Assassin, it absolutely was. My brother was big into the Mr. T stuff when it first came out, and he had that cereal. Hannibal was a colonel. Murdoch was a captain. Face was a first lieutenant, and BA was a Spec 5. Technically, Murdoch was second in command.
Yeah. Well, he was real brainy and all, because he was a pilot, but it was because he was crazy. Like, no one really wanted to, like, leave him in charge of anything. And really, you find out that he wasn't so crazy as he made out. He was just putting most of it on, just so, like, the authorities wouldn't fucking question him much because he was crazy.
Yeah, super fan. Nasty ass wannabe Captain Crunch cereal. Well, that's the thing. They took a lot of those cereals and they just repurposed them with new names on them. Maybe just change the designs or whatever that they actually molded the shit into. So, yeah, shaped like a T. I mean, they did everything. They had the ET cereal. I mean, they had everything at the time. Everything wound up just about having its own cereal. They even had a Ghostbusters cereal for a very short time.
You don't have to stop. You're here.
They're finally coming for you, Shellback.
Yeah.
Go.
But yeah, and Chris Fiss says Hensley should have been in more stuff because she got me through puberty at age 5. Adam Shawhan, I'm sorry about the passing thing. You know, I mean, I know that was a while ago, but it's always those days that it happened. Ugh. I know not everybody likes to think on that stuff, but giving birth tomorrow, yeah, that's should be a reason for celebrating. I love the Super Mario plus Legend of Zelda 2 bags and box cereal. Awesome. There were so many of those funky cereals that they had too, like so many different ones. I remember when they were doing the Star Wars when they released episodes 1 through 3. For the first 2, they actually had cereals. I don't remember them doing a cereal for Revenge of the Sith though, but I remember Attack of the Clones because my dad had actually kept a couple of the boxes because they were like hollow foiled covered boxes for the cereals, and he kept a couple of them for whatever reason. Then I looked them up, and it turns out that people actually collect them. I was like, really? It's like, okay. Yeah, don't forget OJ cereal with the Bronco marshmallows. Yeah. Yeah, I'd actually talked about that when I was talking about Kellogg's, and they were doing the release of the Starbots figures because the Starbots were available off the OJ cereal. Anytime, man. Anytime. Ancient One, interesting fact. A colonel is senior to lieutenant colonel while junior to a brigadier general. Yeah, they really did go overboard with the Star Wars food merch, and nobody bought it. No, I didn't. And I'm still not buying their garbage. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that's just labeling, isn't it? They say they'll just fucking get a real shit fucking cereal.
Well, I mean, right. It's like anything. It's just it's label swapping. You know, I mean, they only got to change a few things here and there and create a whole new product. And if they could do that, why not? I mean, it's not that I really fault them on doing it because if there's a way that they can make money off the shit, they might as well just go ahead and do it. But some of the stuff that they did was just came off as so ridiculous to me that it really was unwarranted. They didn't need to. They just chose to do it, just try to get that extra dollar at everybody. Like they weren't already raping people enough.
Yeah, I think though the best sort of one I thought was the bubble gum with like you could get with tattoos of Superman and fucking Batman and the Flash, and obviously Wonder Woman. But if I ever got any Wonder Woman tattoos, I'd chuck them away. Like I'm not going walking around with a Wonder Woman transfer tattoo.
Are you sure?
Yeah, positive. But
I
there
mean,
was real, and so
as
you
the
always get like about 10 of them.
hey Tommy,
Yeah.
as the great and wise yogurt said, merchandising.
And you know exactly why he said that, right? There's a funny story of why he did that. So when he went to make that film, because he knew he was spoofing Star Wars as like the major film that he was spoofing along with Aliens and Star Trek and a few others, he had actually reached out to George Lucas and wanted his permission to be able to like incorporate a lot of these elements that were very Star Wars based. And George said, "Yeah, absolutely, go ahead. I give you my blessing, but the one thing you can't do is you can't do any merchandise for the show." That's why he included that in there, because he was told that he could not do merchandising.
Yeah, because you never got any like Spaceball fucking toys or out.
And that was why, because of the agreement that he had with George Lucas, like getting his blessing, getting his okay to go ahead and do this and spoof it, that he could not make any merchandising, and that's why he included that in there.
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Yeah, Chris says, I remember when the real Ghostbusters teamed up with Drake's or Hostess and made those gross-looking ectoplasma pies. I also remembered Ecto Coolers because my brother used to love the Ecto Cooler that they did with High C. It was like a green fruit punch or something like that. But they did so much stuff for merchandising with all those different food companies. It was absolutely ridiculous. I liked it when it was a little bit simpler, and like you said, they just gave like the tattoos, or maybe they gave a card away or something like that, or maybe there was something on the back of it where it was like a special mail away. I thought that kind of stuff was good enough. Or if they incorporated some kind of like cheap toys, like they didn't really need to make the cereal like that too. And it's not to say all of them were bad. Like I remember our brother eating the Ghostbusters one, and he said that one tasted okay, but some of them were just horrendously bad. It was like basically like remolded Cheerios, and they were so blah and bland tasting. It was like, why did you even bother?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a shame that he was never able to do any kind of figures for that, because that would have been absolutely hilarious to get the actual figures. The Ecto Cooler, yeah. Yeah, I heard that they were re-releasing that originally when they came out with Afterlife, that they were supposed to be re-releasing the Ecto Cooler, but I could not find it on shelves anywhere. I used to buy Ecto Cooler for my oldest daughter. Yeah. And super fan Adam Shaw and says, yeah, did great with vodka. But I think this is a good point to wrap up tonight's show. I think we had a lot of fun, a lot of good topics tonight, and I'm really planning on getting on Old School with a couple older topics next week. One of the ones I'm going to talk about is a knockoff of an older Diaclone toy. I actually found it still sitting in the stuff that I brought back from my father's house. It was in the box. Granted, it's missing some pieces, but it was one of those companies that actually did the knockoffs where they pretty much copied it, like part for part. Like it was like almost an exact copy before like companies started getting in trouble for doing that shit. And it's even got some of the stickers on there that allude to Takara and what they were doing with Diaclone, which is actually pretty hilarious that they, that they had that happen back then, but they didn't have as strict codes in toy creation as they do now. So they got away with a lot more. Mandalorian has a cereal. I'm not surprised. Figures in the film just never got them to market. Yeah, well, they actually created them just for the film, and they couldn't put them to market because of that. But do you got anything coming up, Jens, on your channel?
Well, yeah, got a live stream hopefully tomorrow. But like last week, it was like 2 days late. It was on the Thursday more than usually on the Tuesday, and hopefully I'll be doing a video and all before then, and then on the Wednesday I'll be reviewing From Russia With Love.
Nice. Have you reached out to Slasher at all to get him on to do those movie reviews with you?
Yeah, well, I'll drop the link, but I don't know if I'm doing it a bit too early. But I think he's doing a later one. But I'm doing the Bond film, so there's not many people that like James Bond films. So I'll like throw the link because like I'm usually watching it like about 9-10 o'clock time, Greenwich Mean Time. So that's sort of like 3-4 o'clock, sort of like East Central sort of time. So I don't know if it's a bit too early in that, but Slasher's, I think he's going to be doing a movie review because he did one last week with Darius doing last Wednesday, should I say, doing Happy New Evil, yeah, something like that. It was some slasher horror film that like from the 80s, I think. Could have been 70s.
Well, Wookie's already putting something up where to go next. So go ahead and check him out and make sure to put hashtag guinea pig swarm. 40 like hype. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Shellback, what do you got going on, buddy?
I don't really have anything going on my channel these days, but
the Saturday anime thing is put on hiatus for now, huh?
Yeah, well, it's been on hiatus for like the last few months. Especially since I started working, because my schedule is like Wednesday through Saturday, and like 7 at night to like 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. So yeah, I spend the time that I was spending doing that on that anime on Saturdays is now being spent sleeping. So
yeah, it's always hard to catch up, especially when you adjust to a new schedule.
But I mean, I'll say tune into West Moody webcast tomorrow night for Tricking on Tuesday. You'll probably be able to catch me there.
Awesome. I'm gonna try to stop in if I can. I'm still kind of like running around doing a whole lot because I'm still watching after my brother right now. So that eats up a good portion of my day and my time. So it just is what it is. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to Shellback and make sure you subscribe to Jens. Check out that movie talk when he drops it. Pay attention for when his links are dropping out, when he drops it on Twitter and posts it. And I want to thank every last one of you coming in like you always do and spreading the word about this, because it's always so much fun to get here and talk about the old stuff that we love so much. Hopefully we're going to get some more guesting stopping in next week. Today was kind of off week because nobody was quite sure if I was even going to have the show because of what the internet company was doing to me. But yeah, after I posted a few things on Twitter and made a few inquiries, all of a sudden my internet is back up and running. It's kind of funny how that stuff works. So make sure you check out other people, and whether you go by to the link that Wookie put out there, or if you're stopping to see Darius, or if you're stopping by to see ETEP, make sure you put hashtag guinea pig swarm. Let them know that we're thinking about them. We're sending love their way. And we will catch you all next time. Thanks for being here, guys. Later, y'all.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight!
They're not gonna get me without a fight.
It's not praising anymore. It's not like, oh, look, it's the road leader.
Everybody, Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast here.
Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
I guess I'm the camel toe. I don't know. Anyway,
As you see it on screen right now, acting the art.
of the place to be reviews. Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, nibbling off toes.
Strange mysteries and hidden histories of the world.
What's happening, savages? This is a mortal coil.
I am author Stephen Walton, the fandom menace historian, your historian.
I am the patriot journalist, Truth Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
By taking some time out of our daily lives to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want us to speak.
Here comes the silence.
What was that? Was that supposed to cover us up?
Yeah, I thought it was a bigger picture.
It was not.
Yeah, we both look like idiots. We really did. All right. We went from 17 down to 8 people after that opening. That was fantastic.
Probably because most of them had to go to the ear doctor. I don't know the correct term for the ear doctor.
They're the ear doctor. I don't know, but my ears are bleeding.